All right. What's up? What's up, everyone? So, this is the first time I'm doing this, but I'm going to do like a live of me cooking. All right. Cooking breakfast. Usually I do it only on Instagram because I would have the meta glasses on and everything, and y'all could see everything that I'm chopping and stuff like that. But I was like, you know what? Let's try something new. Go on StreamYard, show y'all so I can show everyone from every platform what I cook for breakfast because breakfast is literally the most important meal of the day. Okay. And this is the time I usually start breaking my fast around like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning because I usually do more of a fasted workout. I'm big on fasted workouts. I believe that when you fast and when you do a workout, um, you're utilizing more of your fat cells and leftover glycogen levels. That's going to help you be able to, lose body fat or stay ripped all year round. And this is like one of my secrets that I usually do versus eating and then working out. Now, I only recommend fasted workouts for individuals that, you know, two things. One is that if you don't have a lot of time in the evening to work out, it's best to go in the morning. Or if you have like an early job, like my job starts like around 10, 11. So if you have something like that, maybe even people who job starts like 8 or 9, I highly recommend doing like fasted workouts and then just try to get your breakfast in. But I don't recommend it for people that are not used to fasted workouts because the thing is that some of the dangers is that your blood sugar levels could drop and then you want to pass out in the gym. You know what I mean? And that's something that you don't want to happen. So again, just be very careful when you're doing fasted workouts. If you're trying to get into fasted workouts, then I highly recommend at least bringing like a protein shake or some fruits with you in the beginning. Bring like a small snack. So then if you feel tired, you can go ahead and have that little snack when you're in the gym. That's going to help boost up your glycogen levels so you don't pass out. Okay. And then as time goes on and you start getting more acclimated to that, that's when, you could start reducing the foods. But I've been doing fasted workouts since like almost forever, since I was a kid. Hey, boss man, what's up? So, since I've been a kid, I've been doing fasted workouts. It's just with me, I don't like having anything solid in my body when I'm training. So the only thing I would do is just have like some BCAAs, my pre-workout, creatine, my supplements, but that is it. No actual real food. And even when I'm cycling, I do that fasted. And usually I would just have electrolytes if I feel gassed. And if it's like a super long ride, like let's say I'm doing like 50 miles or something like that, then I would like look for a snack because by then, after like 2-4 hours of just straight training, you do get hungry. You know what I'm saying? So like I might have a small snack. And I feel in the whole cycling world, and I'm an amateur in the cycling world, but from what I've been seeing so far, I noticed that what a lot of cyclists do is that they overindulge in junk food for the glycogen boost. And what I'm realizing is that you don't really need that much calories unless you're like an elite athlete or something like that, and you're really riding like tons of miles and stuff. But if you're someone who's like just starting off, like just because you did two hours doesn't mean that that gives you a pass to start indulging into cupcakes, ice cream, and donuts, man. I think it's a little ridiculous because I'm like, the reason I don't need those glycogen boosts for these long rides is because I eat healthy. I eat real food, okay? Food, single ingredient foods. They have more vitamins, more minerals that's going to help your body digest more complex carbs. So that means that when you consume complex carbohydrates, it's going to store in your liver. And if you're doing training like me, like very early in the morning, your body's going to utilize some fat from the fat cells in your body for fuel, also the stored glycogen that's stored in your liver by eating more complex carbohydrates. And then after a long ride, for me to get a snack, I literally need to be hungry. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm so used to it. So with that said, let's go ahead and drop that part and let me go ahead and start getting into the kitchen and start cooking. And what we're going to start off with is one of my favorite recipes. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I eat this pretty much almost every single day, but it's my broken burger bowl. So if you're on YouTube, you can find that recipe on my YouTube channel. Just put in Corinne Sutton broken burger bowl or just burger bowl, and it should come up. And you'll notice that this recipe is about 60 to 70 grams of protein just in one sitting. And the reason I love this recipe so much is because it's very high in protein. I like getting majority of my protein first throughout the day. And then as I go throughout the day, I want to eat more carbohydrates. But because today I'm eating more calories, because I do a lot of carb cycling, and I could talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. With the carb cycling, today is one of my medium carb days. So that means I'm able to eat more calories. That's going to fuel my body, give me more of a bigger pump, help with recovery, help restore my glycogen levels. So then by Sunday, when I usually do my very long rides, I'll be fueled up, because it starts off on Thursdays. I'll raise up my calories. And then Saturday and Sundays are my highest calories, where I'm doing mostly about 3,500 calories on both of those days. So with those extra calories, and since Saturday is a rest day, a lot of that is going to be extra fuel being stored. So by Sunday, I'm already glycogen up. I have tons of calories stored into my body. I can really perform very well on my long rides. And then after the ride, I have more calories to replenish anything that's lost and helps with recovery. Hopefully that makes sense. But let's get into the broken burger bowl first, because we're going to start off with that. And then we're going to go ahead and make some pancakes, which is my high protein pancakes. And I'm going to show you the pancake powder that I like to use that really helps get more protein, because in my breakfast, I get somewhere around 80 to 100 grams of protein just in one sitting. And again, I like getting majority of my protein in. Your body will absorb all the protein. I used to be a pro bodybuilder. I just stopped bodybuilding. That's how I'm able to have all this muscle here. Like, your body will absorb all the protein, and it's something I've been doing way before than the recent studies even came out, because I knew about this. I didn't have any scientific evidence, but I already knew about this because there's people who does bodybuilding who fasted and eat one meal a day, and they got tons of muscle. So I always wondered, like, if there's certain people out there in the bodybuilding world or the bodybuilding circuit who's able to consume one meal a day and look jacked, why can't I be able to consume a meal that has 100 grams of protein and be able to continue to build muscle? It never made sense to me when people were breaking down their meals into 4 to 6 or even 8 meals a day. I think if you're eating 6 to 8 meals, that's more of a job. And people like myself, who runs a business, a multi-6-figure business, have to, I'm always on the call doing sales calls or check-ins with my students and clients. I'm doing lives. I'm doing my Instagram. I'm doing all the stuff, doing videos. Like, I don't have time to sit there to eat 6 to 8 meals, and that's the reality. Unless you're this bodybuilder and that's your job full time, I get it. But that's a job, and that's not the people I really work with. The people I work with are very high-strung individuals that have very busy jobs, very busy lifestyle. They got kids as well, and they don't have time to be sitting in the kitchen eating a bunch of food. They want to be able to eat a minimum amount of food, somewhere around 2 to 3 meals per day. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. So let's go ahead and first wash off our fruits and vegetables. So we got the bell pepper here, and with the bell pepper, like, some of the benefits with this is that the bell pepper is a high source of vitamin C. Okay, so knowing that it's a high source, right? This is where I get majority of my vitamins and minerals, because when you're eating whole foods, you want to include a lot of single ingredient foods into your diet. I don't care if you're vegan, plant-based, pescatarian, carnivore, whatever the case can be, you're not going to get all your vitamins and minerals unless you're eating more whole foods, okay? and you want to be able to have an abundance amount of those foods into your diet, no matter what diet you're eating. If anyone's telling you to not eat vegetables or eat a certain particular food group that is healthy, it's a real big red sign, because more than likely you're going to be lacking some type of nutrient somewhere. Okay. So this is why when I cook, I make sure that I'm incorporating tons of different types of foods into my diet, into my meals, so I'm able to get a lot of nourishment. And bell peppers is a significant source of vitamin C, which actually helps with inflammation. It helps with your immune system. So it's one of the reasons why I never get sick. Okay. And also it helps with, like, because there's different colors. So the green is going to help with more of your skin. You have like different bell peppers, like red, that helps with your blood cells. Okay. It helps filter out the blood cells. Yellow bell peppers actually helps with your immunity. Orange has better carotene, so that helps with your eyes. So it's always good to play around with different colors of fruits, vegetables. Even if you have like different color onions, different color bell peppers, it's good to mess with all of them. Okay. Now, you don't have to eat all of them all at once, but it's good to swap them out from time to time. Okay. And just have different variety from it. Okay. Because one of the things you want to do is make sure that you're getting some of those properties into your body, so that can help with overall health and wellness. Okay. And what we're chopping up now is some white button mushrooms. Okay. So mushrooms is really good because since it's white, it's going to help with your immunity. But then also because it's a mushroom, and I always call it like secret of the universe, right? When you chop it, what does that look like, right? This actually look like almost like the hippocampus in your brain. So this is button mushrooms is a good source for brain health. Okay, so people probably already heard about lion's mane and all the other different types of exotic mushrooms. But if you go to the grocery store, to be honest with you, it's going to be very expensive for those exotic ones. So if you want to save some money and still get some of the benefits, you can definitely get some white button ones. The white buttons are very healthy. They're cheaper, and you're going to get some of the benefits like some of the other mushrooms that's out there. Okay. Now, oils. I like using extra olive oil, or I like to use avocado oil. Now, the reason I like using oil is because the oil is going to bring flavor to the food. Okay. So some people try to avoid oil like the plague. And I want to be honest with you, you don't have to avoid it altogether. This is why I get the spray, because it's just a light coat on the pan, and it's going to help enhance the flavors of the food. Okay. Because once you start getting too crazy about health and fitness and start not making your food taste good, it's going to become a job, and you're going to get boring, and you're just not going to like it anymore. And then you're going to create a bad relationship with food. And the problem with that is that when, let's say you had a bite into a cupcake, which has oil in it, then you're going to be like, oh my God, this is so good. It's going to be such a crazy rush for you that it's going to be hard to go back clean. So that's why you want some balance. And then just make sure if you're using oils, just use a little bit. Okay. Like that spray that I use is really nothing. I don't even count it in my FitnessPal. I've never counted sprays in my FitnessPal when I'm tracking calories, because it's barely anything. Okay. It's barely anything. So this is what I do. And what I'm doing is stir frying everything. All right. And then what I like to do too is store your veggies. So if you want to speed up cooking time, make sure you chop up the whole onion or a whole bell pepper or your mushrooms, and then store it. And that's going to help speed up time. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead, store my bell peppers, put some stuff away. I'll be right back. It's literally the only problem doing the StreamYard, because I can't carry, it's hard to carry the whole laptop with me. You know what I'm saying? But just be patient. and we'll get right into the next thing, okay? So while that is stir frying, now we're going to go ahead and start making the pancakes, okay? So the pancake mix that I like to use is going to be this one right here. It's the Birch Vendors, okay? Now, you probably saw certain recipes of my high protein pancakes using like protein powders and stuff like that. And those recipes are really good. But the reason I stopped doing my own recipes and started using the Birch is because they have a perfect balance when it comes to the protein, because they already add like a pea protein in here. So you get about 9 grams of protein per serving, which is per quarter cup. And then it comes out more fluffier, okay? The pancakes that I was making in my videos, they taste good. I never had anyone really complain about it. But the problem was that they would come out a little dense, not as fluffy, okay? And I would add like baking powder and baking soda and all that stuff into it to try to get it more fluffier without like making the macros bad. But the problem was that they still came out dense. You know, I didn't enjoy that. But with the Birch, it's really fluffy. So I started buying that instead for my pancake mix. And it's real simple. It helps with time. You don't have to spend too much time like trying to add all these ingredients. You just put 2 scoops. You add some water. I'm going to add a little bit of soy milk because the soy milk is high in protein as well. You get some vitamins and minerals because it's fortified. So you're getting like B vitamins, some iron in there. I do about like maybe like a quarter cup, 3/4 cups of that. I kind of just eye it out, to be honest with you. And then we'll just stir it up. And then just to sweeten it, I'll add some pure stevia / erythritol. All right. So this is the one that I like to use for sweetener. So I use this for a lot of baked goods. If I'm making like a snack or something like that, or my coffees, because with this one, you're only getting about 4 grams of carbohydrates for 1 tablespoon. So that's really good. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really like pure stevia either, because the pure stevia, it tastes like it just tastes too planty. It has planty. It has like a plant taste to it. And with if you do the pure, it tastes like sugar, you know, and it really sweetens up anything you're cooking. So it's one of the reasons why I like using this. All right. So we just added some spinach in there into the broken burger bowl. And if you're not eating spinach because of oxalates, you're wrong, okay? The only reason you should stay away from spinach is only if you have a serious kidney disorder, okay? But if you're someone who's scared about oxalates, when you cook them, it actually breaks down the oxalates, so it becomes more absorbable. Also, you're going to be able to absorb more vitamins and minerals when you cook it. Okay, it's going to be more bioavailable. But don't be scared to eat it raw either. Like I eat raw spinach all the time. I eat raw kale. Like all this stuff is good for you. Okay. And now for the protein, to get like that high protein intake. Now with my clients, if I have clients who consumes animal byproducts, I tell them to do like maybe some ground turkey or some grass-fed ground beef, right? And then they can make a burger bowl just like that. You want to make sure the fat's very low and very lean so you get that high protein source. Now, me personally, I like using seitan, okay? And with the seitan, this is a great alternative when it comes to meat. And it's high in protein. It's very equivalent to meat. So this one gets about 17 grams of protein per serving. And the fat is only 0.5. And it's only using Vita wheat gluten and some natural flavors. So one of the things you want to look at when you're trying to find an alternative meat and you're trying to reduce your meat intake is make sure the ingredients are healthy and single ingredient foods that you can actually read. So as you can see here, this is very healthy. It's only using wheat gluten, some water, some soy sauce, and then some seasoning like onion, cumin, black pepper, salt, things like that. So this is why this is one of my favorite brands that I love to use. And then to get like the B12 and stuff like that, I mean, I do have some soy milk, but my biggest secret is going to be right here, the nutritional yeast. Okay. So nutritional yeast is going to give it more of that cheesy flavor, but it's also packed with B vitamins. Okay. So I sprinkle some of that in there. And as you can see, when it comes to the B vitamins, most people think like if you're not eating meat, you can't get B12. And meat has B12 in it. But if you're someone who's not eating meat and you're trying to get the B12, again, you could do the mushrooms, you could do soy milk. Okay, as you can see, it's fortified. There's B12 vitamins in there. It's highly bioavailable. Also, as well, the nutritional yeast. So this is the one I actually use. It's from Anthony's. And if you look at the B12, it's extraordinary high. Okay, so with this, I could get my B12. I get 300% of my daily value of my B12 just from 3 tablespoons. Okay, so that means I'm going to get enough, more than enough than I actually need. Okay, and when I check my blood work all the time, my B12 levels is at least of my problems. It's actually pretty high. You know, it stays on the high end. Sometimes it's too high. Sometimes it's in the optimal area. So B12 was never my concerns when it comes to eating the way I eat. Okay. So this is what I do. We got the burger bowl ready to go. And we're just mixing everything up. And I'll show y'all how that looks like once I'm done, because now we need to get back to the flour. So when it comes to the pancake mix, because the burger bowl is done, you want it a little, you want it, the texture should come out pretty good. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like you don't want it too thick, but then at the same time, you don't want it too liquidy. All right. So I made a mistake and added too much soy milk in there. So I'm just going to add just a sprinkle. I'm just sprinkling a little bit in there just to thicken it up a little bit. And I think it should be good by now. Yeah, it's getting a little thick. All right. So I like using a non-stick pan for the pancakes. Reasons is because first, it's a lot easier. When you try to use it on an iron skillet, man, it's a challenge. So with a non-stick, it's going to be a lot better. Now, when it comes to your non-stick pans, I personally use the Ninja. Okay, you could get the Ninja non-stick pan from Walmart. It's only $50. There's no PFAs and no dangerous chemicals. Okay, but you still want to make sure when you're using a non-stick pan, use a plastic or silicone. I would say more of a silicone spatula. Okay, because when you're using a silicone spatula, you're not going to scratch it. Once you scratch a non-stick pan, you pretty much ruined it. And now you're allowing like negative ions, like those PFAs and stuff like that into your food. So if you want to prevent that from happening, just make sure you're using a plastic or what I said before. Oh man, it's too high. Use a plastic or maybe a more, what's better, a silicone spray, not spray, but damn, I'm doing too many things at the same time. Silicone spatula. All right. So now this is looking good. As we can see, it's at a nice texture. It's not too watery. And we're going to go ahead and start adding our pancakes in here. So I like doing one at a time. And when you taste that batter, man, and the batter is sweet, the pancakes is going to come out perfect. Now, the only thing you want to make sure is that you don't want the heat to be on too high. Okay, so like it's a little tricky when you're using two different pans, like an iron pan and a non-stick, because non-sticks are usually made out of aluminum. So the problem with that is that the heat of the pan heats up very fast, but it doesn't hold heat. So when you're cooking pancakes, you don't want it too high or too low. You need to find that perfect temperature so it doesn't burn too fast. Okay. With the iron skillets, you always want to use low heat. That's one of the benefits of iron, is that you could always use low heat, and you could save a lot of money in your electric bills. If you have like an electric stove or even a gas stove, you could save a lot of money just because you don't really need to be, the thing doesn't need to be too high. Okay. So let's go ahead and flip this. All right. So that's what you want to do. Let's answer some questions while we're cooking some pancakes. So Halen says, do you prefer hammer curls, bicep curls, or the other way around? You want to do both, because both exercises target both two bicep heads. Okay. So it's not about which ones that I prefer. It's like which one actually does the best work, and they both do the best, because you want to do both. Because if you're doing biceps, that's hitting more of the medial part of the bicep head. If you're doing hammers, that's going to hit more of the outside outside part of the bicep head. So if you want a full bicep, you need to do both exercises. So it's almost like the same thing when it comes to tricep pull downs. Like you have the tricep pull downs and then overheads. Overheads is going to hit more of this part of the tricep. The regular pull down is going to hit more of the outside of the tricep. Okay, so that's why it's not about like what exercise is better and not. You have to understand the biomechanics of the exercise, and if it's actually targeting the muscles that you're trying to hit, so they could be more full, if that makes sense. Okay, so I think we got our first batch ready, pretty much ready to go, of our pancakes. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more. We had turned down the heat a little bit because that one came out. It came out good, but came out a little colored. Cooked a little too fast. All right, let's see if we got anyone from Instagram. Type of questions. All right, so someone on Instagram said, FM1 says, I heard the less you eat, the longer you live, but you have to eat the right things when you do. Yeah, I mean, I've read that before when it talks about being in the deficit is better for longevity for sure. But but when it comes down to the deficit, it's like, well, you don't want to be in so much of a deficit where it's hurting your body or hurting your nervous systems, and you're not getting enough food to get you throughout the day. Because if you're starving, it's not beneficial, right? So I would take that with a grain of salt when it comes to being in the deficit, because and you have to remember that some of these studies are based on people with longevity, and they're older people, so their diets obviously changed as they got older, not just like, oh, they were in the deficit for the whole entire time. Because, for example, like someone like myself who does a lot of physical activity, I need more food, but I'm never really in a true caloric surplus, like so much of a surplus that I'm eating like 10 times more than what I'm supposed to be eating. If I'm trying to bulk, I'm usually in a slight caloric surplus, not a significant one. Okay. So some of the information that's out there will pertain on what you're trying to do at the end of the day, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, you got to eat the rainbow. Yeah, exactly. You need to eat the rainbow for sure. Absolutely. see if we got any more comments. Big says, it's funny you mentioned that because I have stage 3 kidney disease. Yeah, you know, your doctor's probably even told you that as well. You know what I mean? All right. Let's make some more pancakes. Let me know if y'all have any other questions about everything. FM1 said, you looking more ripped? You riding the bike more? Absolutely. Yeah, I've been riding the bike a lot. Just yesterday, I did about 33 miles on the bike. And to be honest, it's easier to stay ripped because it's like when you're doing all those miles and stuff, you're burning tons of calories. Like I've never, to be honest, since I got this bike, I never really burned as many calories on a cardio machine. I've been burning more calories on the cardio on this bike than any type of bodybuilding show for sure. And I actually feel better. I don't feel like super tired or lethargic. I actually feel a lot better. And I think part of that is because like you get more of that endorphin rush, you know, you get the runner's high, they say. So I think that's one of the benefits of doing these type of workouts. You know what I mean? It's really good. I really enjoy it. For them now says faster workouts are the best. Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. For sure. Let's see. Because I've been doing them forever. I love them. All right. Kane says, what's up? Hey, what's up, man? Let's see. All right, we're just making those pancakes. While we're waiting for those pancakes to be done, I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning up a little bit. Put some stuff away because this is the best if you don't have a lot of time. And usually, obviously, if I'm like not filming, I can cook a lot faster. But you know, usually this meal only takes about 15 minutes to make. You know what I mean? If y'all have any questions while I'm like just cleaning up, just let me know. I'll go ahead and answer them. After that, I'm just going to show you the meals and show you how everything is, and then that's pretty much it for the live. But just let me know. The man who makes vegan documentaries on Netflix has announced he is no longer vegan. What do you think? What man, though? Because I don't know which documentaries you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Which documentaries? Can you be a little bit more specific on that? Do you know who it is? I want to be honest with y'all. This batch of pancakes is going to taste good, but it's not my best batch. Sometimes it's a hit or miss. And today was a little bit of a miss because I think I need to add more flour. But I'm watching my calories, so I didn't want to go overboard with it. Oh, what? The Cowspiracy guy? What? Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Like, first I need to see if that's true. You know, that's a big surprise that he actually quit. Yeah, I think his name's like Kelp or something like that. Damn, that's a big surprise that he actually quit veganism, especially after making Christspiracy. He quit veganism. Wow, that's interesting. You know, I don't know. I'm definitely going to fact check that and check that out to see if that's true. But let's say theoretically he did. You said Ali Trabezi. He's not the one that created Cowspiracy though, or Seaspiracy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, the person who created Cowspiracy, Suspiracy is Kip Anderson, and there's no public information of him not being vegan. So I just looked it up. So I don't know what you're talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? I think he probably got duped. Yeah, because once you said Ali Tabarezi, I'm like, I don't even know who the hell that guy is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's not. It's whoever that guy is. I don't know. But when it comes to Kip Anderson, he's still vegan. I just looked it up and said there's no evidence. That's nowhere, no public evidence of him stating that he quit being vegan. And because that's the guy who created Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy, Christspiracy, Kip Anderson. And no, he did not quit being vegan. So yeah, I don't know where you're getting your information from, man. Let's see. I don't know. I have seen that news in Turkish news. Yeah, it's definitely false info. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely false info. So they're just putting out some bullshit. You know what I mean? All right. So we're pretty much done with the cooking. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and show y'all what I finished making, because I know some people are just entering into the live. So this is it right here. Let me see. Let me go on YouTube because, all right. So that's it right there. So that's the broken burger bowl. So this is what I usually have for breakfast every single day. Y'all can see. And then with the pancakes, like I said, it's not my best batch. I usually make better batches, but today it's always a hit and miss. But that's the pancakes we got right here. Okay, so it doesn't look too bad, but it's still fluffy. Still going to get my calories in. And then when it comes down to the pancake syrup, I'm using the Log Cabin. Okay, now some people probably be like, "Man, that's just full of chemicals." Yeah, maybe, but it's 0 calories. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with y'all, it was on sale on Publix, very cheap price, buy one get one free. So I was like, why not? And is there better alternatives out there? Yes, there is. Like there's one on my website called 0 calorie syrups, and I forgot who actually makes it. It's on my website. That's a better version, but I'm like, when it comes to this, it might be filled with chemicals, but guess what? 0 calories and it tastes like fucking syrup. So it's like, to me, I'm like, whatever, man. Like everyone has their indulges. This is one of my indulges. This is one of my things that I do. I'm not perfect. I'm not these guys who super fixate on every little detail. I'm just someone who does their best. I get the best stuff, but there's certain things that I'm like, hey, you know what? I like having some really good pancakes. I'm not doing bodybuilding anymore and stuff like that. So I don't need to be like super strict on myself of what I eat. So if I want to have some pancakes with some chemicals in there, I want to have some pancakes with some chemicals. All right. It's not like I eat this shit every day anyway. So that's me. But there is better alternatives. Definitely some better alternatives on my website. Even things that I tell my clients to get if they're focused on that, which no disrespect, no hate, but that's me, man. So that's everything. So tastes fire. So with that said, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. More than likely probably come back live later today at 2 p.m. And that's it. All right. Hope you have a great rest of your morning. Talk to y'all soon.